Good day, everybody. This is Michael Leveris from JurisQ.com, where we bring you different attorneys in different states to answer frequently asked questions on law. Today, we welcome back our frequent guest, Mr. Steven Zielinski from the law office of Herbert Warrens, attorneys in New Jersey dealing with car accidents, truck accidents, all types of personal injury. Steven, we had you in the past. You're very insightful. Welcome back.
We're ready to go, Michael.
Yeah. We're recording, so I just welcomed you, and we're going to cut out this part. I welcomed you. So let's start with our question, okay? Can you hear me?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. Steven, you have mentioned to me that you want to educate the public on what is a verbal threshold, also known as lawsuit threshold, and how it relates to a personal injury claim. Can you please talk about that?
Oh, yes. That is the biggest problem that drivers and owners of cars have in New Jersey, because a lot of them don't have the best threshold for driving in this state.
Okay.
What happened is the New Jersey legislature passed a law which imposes a verbal threshold on everybody as a default position, as opposed to how it used to be.
Okay.
It used to be that we had the better threshold, and then the legislature took it upon itself to change that and impose what they call the verbal or the lawsuit threshold on every policy, unless you as an insurer chose to get the better threshold.
I see.
Now, they always indicate that it will cost more to have the better threshold. Well, there's a very significant reason why that's important. The lawsuit threshold virtually takes away your right to sue in many, many, many accidents.
Really?
Unless you have very serious injuries.
Okay.
So by default, the legislature has made it virtually impossible for a lot of people to make a claim when they're hurt in an accident. For instance, a neck injury or a back injury that doesn't have surgery. Those people have a difficult time making a claim for injuries that they are entitled to receive compensation for.
I see.
And Michael, what this means is that if you are writing a new policy or going to your insurance company and asking for the most coverage or the best coverage you can have, everybody in this state really should know this. They should really have this explained to them, but nobody does. The insurance company sends out a big, thick package of legal terms, and virtually nobody reads or understands that, even if they read it.
Steven, this is why we invite you to educate us on what are the proper steps.
Well, what has to happen is you as an owner of a vehicle must decide whether you want to keep your rights to bring an action against the person that hurts you or your family or your friends who are in your car. And if you do, if you want to preserve those rights to make a claim, then you have to choose what they call the no threshold. So it's NO threshold is what everybody should have. However, most people, and I would say probably 90 to 95% of the drivers, have the default position or the lawsuit or verbal threshold, which is the least good coverage that you could have. Sure, what's going to happen is your insurance agent or your friends are going to say it's going to cost you more for this other option, but that's what's going to happen. I can assure you that when you have no threshold and you are in an accident, it catches the insurance company's attention very quickly, and they are more willing to make an offer that's reasonable to you to settle the case. When you have the other threshold, the lawsuit or the verbal threshold, the insurance company smiles and say, well, we can't really make a claim at this point because we don't think your injuries meet that threshold.
Mhm.
And that will prevent you or make it very expensive and difficult for you to prefer your claim to the insurance company for payment. So consequently, that's basically the difference in
Understood.
the lawsuit threshold versus no threshold. So
Got it.
you should understand when you write your policy or have your policy issued by the agent, ask them specifically how much more is no threshold going to cost me, because that's the better threshold, and that's really what I want to protect my family and myself when I'm injured in a car accident by some careless driver.
Steven, thank you so much. This was very practical, useful information, because I'm sure most people did not know that. And you want to have insurance that in case, God forbid, something happens, that it actually protects you and gets you compensated for your injuries. So like Steven, like you pointed out, important to read your policy and ask the right questions. This is why we bring you.
One more thing, Michael.
Mhm.
For our clients, when they come in the office, that's the first thing we discuss with our clients.
Good.
We explain to each of our clients the benefit of having no threshold as opposed to a verbal threshold. So if you are a driver or an insured in this state of New Jersey and you need information about that and are considering having a new policy issued or even changing your coverage, we're happy to give anybody walking through our door information about the verbal or no threshold. So
Very good.
they can call the office if they want and schedule an appointment, and we'll be happy to explain the difference to them.
Perfect. Okay, Steven, thank you. And for the convenience of our viewers, we're going to have the phone number of your law office on the bottom of the screen. If anybody has any questions about their possible claim for personal injury, they were hurt in any kind of car accident or motorcycle accident or truck accident, please feel free to call and schedule a consultation that is going to be free. Right, Steven?
We won't charge for that advice, Michael, but it's
Perfect.
like I say, it's too late after the accident
Exactly.
to make that decision. All right.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Steven, thank you so much. Thank you for participating and educating us on personal injury law. And we're going to come back to you in our next video, and we're going to discuss truck accidents. Truck accidents, they could be horrific. The injuries could be catastrophic. We're going to talk about what rights do victims, or God forbid somebody died, the state of the victim, what rights do they have after such a horrific accident. Thank you. Stay tuned. Take care.